Start. I hope everyone can see us.
Am I audible, please?
Yes, Alokji, you're audible.
So, at the last moment, it is done.
Yes, we are ready.
Thank you.
I'll begin. Welcome to today's session on digital transformation and data-led leadership in asset-intensive industries. I am Rohan Salvi, Associate Director at Verdantis. We are an AI-powered master data management platform organization. We drive innovation across industries, and I'll be moderating today's session and look forward to an interactive one today. We aim to explore how emerging technologies are reshaping master data management, enhancing efficiency, sustainability, and leadership strategies. We are joined by three industry veterans who led digital transformations across industries. I would like to invite Mr. Vijay Purohit, Manoj Kumar, and Alok Khanna to this today's session. It would be great if you could introduce yourselves. Vijay, it would be great if you could start with a brief introduction as well.
Hey, thanks, Rohan, for having us here. I think it's a great conversation to have on. Hello, everyone. This is Vijay Purohit. I'm based out of Mumbai. I'm part of Holcim Group, and in my current role, I look after the regional APAC IT as head of it, and also manage the center here in Mumbai for the Global Competency Center in IT. As a professional, I'm a chartered accountant, but landed in IT around 22 odd years back. And in 15, 16 years of consulting experience, I've managed digital transformation, mergers, acquisitions, ERP transformations for many organizations across Europe, US, and India. And past 7 years, I've been concentrating on industry in terms of building the competencies and running the GCCs for MNCs like Reckitt, and now I'm part of Holcim. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Vijay ji. Alok ji, would you like to do an introduction?
Sure, sure. Thanks for inviting me to this platform. My name is Alok Khanna. I am basically a chemical engineer who joined Indian Oil and served through Indian Oil for 39 years. And during this period, I worked in logistics operations and then switched over to ERP implementation in Indian Oil, which was SAP. And then headed as a CIO. Then later on, I also headed the digital transformation project of Indian Oil, which was a very successful project. And we did a lot of digital implementations in Indian Oil. I retired recently from Indian Oil and settled in Gurgaon. Thank you.
Thank you, Alok ji. Manoj, would you like to go next?
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Manoj Kumar. I'm working as a group CIO of Aperam based out of Luxembourg. And before Aperam, I was working as a head of IT at HPCL Mittal Energy Limited in oil and gas sector. And prior to that, I worked for companies like Capgemini, Electrolux, and briefly for a chartered accountancy firm. Like Vijay, I also come from the finance background. Started with finance, landed up in IT, and enjoying my journey in as a technology leader, I would say. So that's a brief about me.
Thank you so much, Manoj. Thank you for those introductions. It's a uh, truly an honor to be having such distinguished leaders on the panel today. With so much collective experience on the panel, I'm excited to dive straight into our discussion. Today's session will focus on practical strategies, real world challenges, and how innovative technologies are shaping the future of asset intensive industries. Let's get this conversation going. Vijay ji, the first one is for you. In this round, what I would like to focus on is strategy, pivotal moments, and leadership challenges. So you have led significant technology transformations, and what were the key leadership challenges that you faced when it comes to driving technology-led, data-centric initiatives, and how did you navigate through those?
Sure, Rohan, thanks. Look, if we look at any technical or digital transformation as we call it now, is actually it needs to be making life for our users and the business easier. It's simple as that. It's for business. And the moment you have business involved in any of this, you will definitely have some challenges coming in. I think the main important challenge now is more on resistance to change, which we generally see as part of change management, because they are entering into an unfamiliar territory, right? We know the technology, we know digital disruptions that are happening across the globe, but to get the business along, it's a bigger challenge, and I think we need to address the communication or the clear communication of why we're doing this, showcasing quick wins and investing the change management programs very well in the organization, right? The next part is about skill gaps. The technology is changing and disrupting like anything today. Even on the technology team side, you need to make sure you're upskilling your teams as fast as possible to catch up on the technology part. Otherwise, it gets redundant. By fostering a growth mindset, that's important. The third thing is about data silos and quality issues, which we are very much familiar about, and I think the agenda of the topic is as well, where we get fragmented, inconsistent data, inaccessible data across departments, which needs to be mitigated with data governance, inconsistent integration tools, improved data quality and processes. The next is about risk and innovation, right? Where we talk about so much of innovation coming towards business, but who's going to bear the risk of this? It has to be with the digital leaders taking a front foot on this one with the business with them, and making sure that innovation and risk goes hand in hand. By that, how will you manage it? I mean, we manage it by using pilots, using phased approach and robust security measures. But it's key that you always have the buy-in of the business stakeholders and your key, finance and the business sponsors with you. Otherwise, what happens? The priorities differ. You have a technology agenda, you have a digital agenda, but the priorities completely differ from what business wants. So make sure your business strategy has a digital embedment in it, and making sure that it's a sustaining momentum. You keep moving ahead with the KPIs and celebrate milestones around this. And last but not the least, I would say is that you have to induce a cultural shift, a data-driven culture or a technology-driven culture or digital-driven culture in the organization, where it is led by data, empowering teams by understanding new technologies and fostering trust in data. So I would sum up saying, the challenges have not been, unique over a period of time. The technology has changed, and I think we need to adopt based on the technology that is coming up in our space.
Thank you so much, Vijayji. We certainly want to recognize that today because we have diverse, audiences. The next one is for Alokji. Now we are switching over to oil and gas. Oil and gas is huge and complex, and of course there is a huge regulatory compliance that has to be followed as well. So, what strategies did you try to foster adoption and of technology while leveraging data? And while all of this is happening, how do you ensure that you are remaining compliant with regulations?
So, actually, leading digital transformation in India was a massive opportunity. So, IUCL has always been an early adopter of technology. We were the first to implement ERP in public sector.
Mhm.
And for the digital transformation, the driver was that the emerging technologies, Industry 4.2 technologies were coming, and had we not adopted it, we would have been irrelevant in the next few years. So, uh, the board decided, in all fairness, to adopt the Industry 4.2 technology through a structured digital transformation program where we first conducted a as-is study of technology stack available within the organization and did the assessment of the whole company as early as in 2017 itself. And it was a massive exercise talking to almost 5 to 6,000 employees, officials, and then arriving at a future roadmap based on the gaps assessed. And the, then the digital transformation actual project was started, and the opportunity lay in the huge amount of OT data, which was lying in historians, SCADA, and there was the opportunity to implement AI ML assisted solutions. But then there was a regulatory compliance issue also, because vendors cannot be given direct access to OT systems.
Hmm.
So we had to adopt a strategy that we have the OT data, we use the OT data to develop solution, still secure our refineries and operating plants. Because once you give the access to OT system, people can play havoc. So we had to comply to all those regulations of certain approval by National Critical Infrastructure Committee, and we also had the compliance of hosting cloud solution only on government approved cloud environment. So what we did was the first project. What we did was a central data management platform creation where we brought all the OT data and IT data to a central platform from the historians, SCADA, and APC systems, and then created a small projects, very small project involving startups and a specialized company who are developing AI ML based solutions. For example, one solution was there is a train of heat exchanger. So normal tendency is to open up all the heat exchanger during shutdown and clean it. But then there can be ML assisted solution where the outputs and inputs are continuously monitored, and then you can arrive at when the heat exchanger is really due for cleaning and it's losing the heat efficiency. So these kind of ML assisted solutions were developed. The key was to involve the stakeholder in each stage. So right from the digital transformation study to implementation of each of the identified initiative, we involved the business as well as the IT, and did a structured planning. So all the SBU heads and digital transformation heads, they were involved. They were regularly meeting. The regular briefing to board was happening. Then keep making all the other 5,000 stakeholders aware by holding hackathons, digital transformation events, conclaves, competitions, etc., and knowledge updation to the uh, involved officials. So this is how we approach the digital transformation, and I will say it was a quite a successful project. Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Alokji. I think with this, we'll basically move towards data role in sustainability. So, Manoj, the next question is for you. How are you leveraging data and technology to help Aperam remain a global leader when it comes to environmental sustainability?
So for Aperam, environment and sustainability is one of the key factor, as a business. So the role of the data and technology comes at a much later stage. First, the
Mm,
philosophy of the business, how whether you want to run your business in a sustainable way. So as a from for the business philosophy per se, we have our use of the steel scrap, where we have acquired one company in 2021. So we buy a lot of scrap and we use that reuse of the scrap. That's one of the philosophy to remain sustainable in our business. Second, we have our charcoal production and the forest management, where we in our Brazil setup we have huge forest for us where we produce charcoal and we use this charcoal in our meals production. So by telling this, it's not about the technology and the data, which of course play a role, but the business philosophy come into the picture, whether business you would like to the business in a sustainable way. So as a company, we focus heavily on our sustainable business, and of course, to run those business to the forest and use of those steel scraps, you need a lot of application, the data, the integration of those technology, without which you can't run those business. So that's the reason why I always believe the business comes first with the philosophy of the sustainability and followed by the technology and the data around it to support the business objective around sustainability.
okay. Okay. Sure. Thank you. Thank you. I think this on the same topic. I think we have one more question. And Vijayji, Holcim has been a pioneer when it comes to circular economy, sustainability. Perhaps even before many of its peers took this as a corporate agenda. So, how are you leveraging data and technology to meet your environmental goals?
No, I think I first of all acknowledge what Manoj just mentioned about, right. It's the business paramount, that actually drives sustainability and circular economy even for Holcim, and indeed it's a leader, where we've been embedding environmental goals into our strategy way before the mainstream. But to answer your question, I think we are definitely leveraging data and technology to meet these goals. And if I can give you a few examples, we use advanced analytics and IoT, which improves our material efficiency, reduces waste. We use predictive analytics where we have, Plants of Tomorrow initiative, which is Industry 4.0, which helps us reduce waste and identify opportunities for alternate uses of materials. Now, when I talk about alternate use of materials, we have even an business line called recycled aggregates. We have alternate fuels, which are ACRs, which is generally used into the cement plants back, so that we get the benefit of leveraging the alternate fuel first, number one, from sustainability point of view, but also from the cost benefit perspective. We are also managing our AI and using carbon emissions monitoring, not just in the cement plants, but also in logistics. Our carbon capture and storage technologies are supported with data integration because we have to report that. We have digital twins. Life cycle assessments are also automated using AI to ensure the product meet the sustainability benchmarks. But last not the least, right? I mean, this is a given in the industry where we are in. I think we probably the largest or second largest, third largest CO2 emission company in the world, countries in the the industry in the world with cement manufacturing base. But I think more importantly here, you need to have a sustainable supply chain. You need to make sure your stakeholders are updated about what is happening through a transparent data, transparent monitoring, to not just to the internal but also to external customers and investors. Wherein now digital platforms are also used to raise awareness with the customers and partners that what are the sustainable practice we use, why is Holcim the best partner to work with, including scope 2 and scope 3 emissions, and that is what is transparently been reporting to our customers to bring that value back, as a preferred partner to work with along with the customers.
Great, great, great. I think switching to switching the gears again. Next one is focusing on drivers and challenges when it comes to technology adoption. And Alokji, this one is for you. How are current technologies like AI, ML, I think you mentioned that, and deep learning impacting operations in oil and gas sector? And what are the key drivers to ensure high adoption?
So the AI/ML technologies, or so to say, the Industry 4.0 technologies, they are impacting almost in all areas, like you say, top line improvement, bottom line improvement, cost reduction, or unit optimization, refinery units of optimizations through output monitoring or yield maximization in refineries, or operational into introducing operational effectiveness, availability improvement, and predictive maintenance. So these are the few areas I told. Then automation is again a key driver. So there is like every organization, there is a pressure on even PSUs to drive automation based on technology. So tools like RPA, chatbots, they are very popular, and they are very essential for automating very simple jobs. I remind, even they bring a lot of good customer service also. I am reminded of about the direct benefit transfer of subsidy to LPG customers, which was not transparent to customer. They were getting it in their bank account, but it was not getting displayed to the customer. He had to go to the portal and see, which not every customer can do. But a simple chatbot on IOC, hosting a chatbot on IOCL website, automated the whole operations, and there was a lot of transparency to crores of customers. So similarly, ML assisted solutions we deployed in very useful areas, like controlling water and air pollution in the refineries, uh, minimizing the discharge of water, controlling the burning of unwanted gas in the flue gases. And in fact, dashboards at corporate levels were deployed to monitor uh, multiple parameters, not only the environmental parameter, but multiple parameters. Then, as I told, there was efficiency and reduce wastage reduction solutions were deployed using machine learning technologies like heat exchanger cleaning schedule. Then simple things like what is done by a laboratory test of measuring a research octane number of a stream can be done through machine learning algorithm. And in fact, this If it can be done through ML algorithm, it becomes a real-time prediction with a certain accuracy. And if you can achieve that more than acceptable accuracy, the business will grab it, which was the case. Yeah. Then predictive maintenance is a real big boon for process units. Like there are critical equipment are, which are never down. I mean, they have to run 24 by 7 for years together, and you need predictive maintenance solutions to monitor such equipments and do the maintenance to avoid the breakdown. Similarly, digital twins for these critical equipments, then IoT based solutions, and deploying blockchain solutions whenever there were multiple agencies were involved in a single process. So these were the kind of solutions which we did through digital transformation. And the key drivers for adoption was very simple, that if we don't do it, we won't be relevant in the next 4 5 years. That was the real driver, and everybody from top to bottom had realized this. And I think that was the key driver, because technology is available, data is available. So only the drive to implement should be there. That's what we did. Thank you.
Thank you, Alokji. I think the next one is around integrating new technologies with legacy systems while managing complex data ecosystems, and that can be challenging. And Manojji, we would like you to address that one. So, how was your experience in dealing with these challenges? And if you could share a few learnings for our audience today, it would be great.
So first, of course, we all have the legacy system, and in my opinion, any organization or any business, especially the manufacturing company, they can't change their legacy system or overnight. So it's a continuous process, and rather than calling it as a challenge, I say it is business as usual. Where the legacy system will exist, you need to continuously modernize it, and the way the technology is coming to the getting generated, the consumption is not to that extent, and it is not possible to match the speed of the technology generation. So in my opinion, existence of the legacy application is the reality of the business. You can't get away with it. The continuous improvement and the continuous modernization of those applications is the business as usual, in my opinion. Secondly, see, we always talk about risk elimination versus risk mitigation through these legacy applications. So, I don't keep the goal of the risk elimination. I always keep a goal of a risk mitigation. How
Hmm.
we coexist with those legacy applications. This is the mindset, which we try to do, rather than cribbing that, okay, you are not getting money to replace those legacy application overnight, and those kind of a challenge. So those are the challenges. With the risk elimination, with the risk mitigation approach, we, overcome on that. Second, in terms of integrating with the new age technology, in my opinion, enough technology is available. That's the reality of the world, where the technology leaders are also technology companies know that legacy system would exist. So the technology got created by which you can integrate those legacy applications. You can get the data into a the common system. So now you need to design your let's say the architecture, keeping that okay, legacy will be there. So
Hmm.
that's how we drive those legacy integration, or the legacy the mindset, I would say, in our company, not only in Aperam, in my previous companies also. You don't get a privilege. Of course, if you are a new greenfield company, you can afford that. Okay, yes, from the day when you start with a new age technology, but those technology over a period of time, they fall into the legacy application. So the coexistence is a new reality of the business. It's not about a legacy versus modern application. Legacy application would be there, modernization would be there, and the new age technology, you need to figure it out in your business context. What makes the continuous improvement and the continuous modernization is the key for the legacy application.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Thanks. And for the next one, I think it's more focused on data and data governance. But let's make it a little bit interactive. I would certainly invite everyone to chime in on the next set of questions, so that we have various angles on same topics. So first one is talking about critical strategies for driving successful business transformations for organizations such as yours. How do data and data governance play a pivotal role and ensuring these transformations being effective and sustainable? Let's start with you, Vijayji.
Yeah, sure. Look, I mean, when we talk about business transformation, I mean, obviously you will have to have your strategies defined. And if I look at from my perspective and our organization perspective, we have customer centric approach. You have obviously technological and enablement. You have talent development, and then you have sustainability and resilience. Right? That's the key pillars around which how business transformation happens when you do a digital transformation. Now, let's underpin that with data and governance. That's, I think, your question in terms of what do they play a role. Obviously, they play an important role in all of these pillars because without the data-driven approach, you're not going to make a precise decision about how your customer pricing is going to be, how your customer approach is going to be, right? Without this new data governance policies, you cannot optimize your processes and reduce the wastage of your, data duplications and everything else, which is very costly at this age. How do you develop new products without proper data that is, there for the business modeling? And there is a lot of data. Like Manoj also mentioned, in these industries you have terabytes and terabytes of data. It's all about finding that right set of data, what is required for your business transformation, and then modeling that to create your new products and new business models is important. Because unless you do that, your customer experience is not going to get personalized. Your engagement is not going to get personalized. And more, we need to eliminate the silo approach that is there. We have a lot of M&As which that happens in our industries. It's not possible to have all the integrations done on day one. We obviously need to start on day one as an integrated organization when M&As happen. But we have to avoid that there are silos of data governances and data management in these M&As over a period of time so that right action is taken to integrate them. And last but not the least, in order to have your business transformation, you need to monitor your progress, right? Make sure your data governances have KPIs and measurable results are there to give it back to the organization. I'll pause there and hand it over to the other speakers, Manoj and Alok ji.
Alokji, would you like to go next?
Yes, sure. So data governance is extremely important because see, uh, uh, I have dealt with a company which has huge master data, huge transactional data. So data is there in as a IT system also and OT systems also. And the effective data governance, to me, it really means that data has to be consistent and trustworthy. And second thing is it should not get misused, and the business process should be strong enough that it creates the trustworthy data. So there have been many cases. I mean, the business process can be as loose as uh, leaving a loophole in the data getting populated and later on detecting mistakes, which we learned it hard way, particularly in case of master data creations. So, uh, my take on this is that the data governance starts from the business process. It has to be strong enough to ensure that you create the right, consistent, and trustworthy data. As far as the OT data is concerned, yes, there is a lot to be done because these are all vendor supplied systems which become old. Many of them they are out of warranty. They are not monitored properly. Left to the operating people, IT doesn't touch it, and as a result, when you really go to implement OT data, my take was that you have to do lot of messaging on the data and lot of correction on the data. Even the data in the APC and DCS system, they are not properly organized. The simple things like setting the limits, higher and lower limits, simple things like setting the variables, they are not done. So a lot of pre-work has to be done, but once you are able to do it properly, then the digital transformation projects are real successful. And the business, once it gets the taste of uh, the pudding, then they will be after you to develop more and more solutions. So that's what we have seen, and we have struggled with even SAP master data also, creating uh, 20 material codes for one simple bearing. That's a simplest mistake which any company does it, or creating duplicate customer master, and then eliminating is even harder. So master data governance plays a key role, particularly in the big companies, and uh, I think most of the companies learned it hard way, and then corrected. Thank you.
Thank you. Manojji, what is your take on this one?
No, I think enough covered by Vijay and Alok. So the data governance is the key for any transformation. So we talk about the technology, but we sometimes we forget, the basic foundation of any transformation, which is the master data or data governance play an important role, especially when you are into the multiple business. And as Vijay said, when you do a lot of mergers, acquisition, and your plants are, got built or acquired at a different point of time, different systems are there and the different definitions are there. It's not that okay, one, it's always, someone would be able to correlate when we talk about the sales, what the sales number means. Not many people are clear. Everybody has its own definition of, reporting that, the sales figure for various stakeholders. So some sales figure for external world, for the auditors versus, internal people, everybody has its own definition. So if the strong data governance will not be there, whether it is the master data or, the extracting the data, right data for the right set of the problem, or and putting a strong governance around it, we create first mess, and then we use technologies like artificial intelligence to remove those, the mess what we have created. So in my opinion, the importance of the basic foundation is the data governance for any set of the, whether it is a business data, master data. And importantly, it is nothing to with your ERP systems. Of course, the major master data are getting stored in the ERP system, but the operational technology data is an on importance. Whether your instruments are well calibrated, you are getting the right temperature, pressure from, your field to the DCS system or to the, the historian system, whether your tags are properly configured, etc., etc., is part of the governance. And once the governance around the data is strong enough, in my opinion, the rest of the jobs become easy. So, building those models, technologies, it take less time compared to, providing a solution around, now that we have this mess, let's say not structure or, perfect data. So what we do, then you find out, okay, which are the outliers, remove those outliers, or you get new data set of. So strong governance around the data is the key for any transformation, whether you use your ERP system or you use your any new age technology. So that's a key for any organization, and especially when you are multi geography, multi, plants, etc. So getting, into the common parlance, common definition, it's key for all of us. And
Hmm.
Alok said, we all have learned in a, from our mistakes or in a hard way. But in my opinion, still we are learning. Yes, we know what we need to do, but it's difficult to implement, those kind of a thing. So hard or soft, but I have not across the seen many organizations, but not come to know where everybody say, yes, we have the perfect data. We know it's a hard way, but we have not completed our learning. We are still in that learning phase.
No, it
Thanks,
also,
thanks.
Manoj,
That's
it goes
well
back to
put.
the point, right, where we talk about priorities keep changing in the organization. You have an M&A, you think about harmonizing the data. By the time the second M&A comes into picture, and you forgot about the first one, right? So if you say, we'll do it all together, and that together never comes.
Exactly.
Correct.
And importantly, in what happens in this transformation journey, people would like to hear more buzzword than, talking. If somebody talks about, the master data governance or, those things, that person would be said, okay, that he or she is, let's say, the outclassed or, not trendy, I would say. Okay. So, of course, you need to be trendy with the trend. Okay. But without forgetting the basic foundation of, I would say for any department and any organization. So the basic remain same, and the importance of the basic does not shed away with the, with the new buzzwords or the new trends. That's what my opinion.
Thank you, everyone. So I think there, though, we recognize that one expectation apart from the digital transformation is also to get the data in the right shape and set up the governance policies around it. So to keep it in that way. So I think they're harmonizing master data across IT platforms would be I would say a pivotal activity. Effective harmonizing master data is critical, especially when company grows through inorganic routes like as you mentioned merger acquisition and frequent merger and acquisition, I would say. Further, this process also ensures consistency across the data because the sources are different, so we certainly expect the processes and the data to be different, and driving consistency to support the rapid expansion through the data channels becomes important. So I have a question, and this one, Vijayji, I would like to direct to you. Uh, what has been your experience with Holcim's strategy of rapid growth through acquisition in past? And during this, how have you dealt with harmonizing the master data at a scale? Because certainly the scale must have been significantly large.
Look, I mean, Holcim strategy for rapid growth through acquisition, like it's everywhere and has been transformative for us. It's allowed us to grow in scale globally, expand in new markets, diversify our portfolios where we added, solutions and products to our portfolio as well. But again, however, bringing this rapid growth often brings a significant challenges. We just mentioned about all of those, right? And if I name a few, you will find, inconsistent data standards coming through M&As. All is good, but once you go into the details, you might find there are siloed systems, siloed databases available, duplicate inaccurate data, and there's also resistance to change, right? So I think the way we try to deal with it is basically trying to look at our M&As and portfolio acquisitions in two different angles. One is the large scales, obviously, the other ones are bolt-ons. The large scale ones has a proper transfer, TSAs, where you ensure that the whole process of data governance and data modernizations and everything else is standardized before the integration happens. Not obviously all T's can be crossed and I's can be dotted, but we ensure that the applications what the new company is going to use, which is coming into our landscape, is probably the same that we are using for our customers in those markets and for our businesses in those markets. So that once the application landscape is folded in, you don't have data duplications, you don't have IT debt that is created, and the master data management also becomes easier over a period of time. And the other ones are like bolt-ons, right? These are the smaller ones which get acquired, in smaller markets as a part of it. For that, you obviously, you have not many users around it. You have smaller systems for them. So what we do is basically on day one, and some of these announcements also come at a very late for the IT organizations because of the confidentiality. So we basically first do the integrations into our system to make sure the master system is getting all the information that is required, and it is a data transformation between two systems has happened properly through integrating these systems, and then slowly, steadily, we make sure that all the other systems in the legacy are folded in as much as possible, and if not, then we start implementing the data standards onto them. But the essential bit is about cross-functional teams that are available. You need to make sure that you have a phased approach for these M&As. It is not going to always happen on day one, and you continuously monitor it to basically take it through, over a period of time. As we also discussed in the previous question, master data governance probably might not be the most important topic to be discussed as part of M&A because there are hundreds of things to be sorted. But there has to be an eye on it to make sure there is, a technical integration rightly done and the data integration also rightly being done. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I think on the same thread, so Indian Oil, and looking at the size of the organization, the scale and the IT landscape must have been, huge and heterogeneous. So Alokji, what was IOC's take with respect to managing master data, especially when sources are different technologies, platforms, and how did you plan all of this?
So mm, actually, being a very big company, so we had multiple legacy softwares for each SBU. So, like retail SBU will have a different software, LPG will have a different, Lube will have a different, refineries will have a different, pipelines will have a different software. So, first of all, we before even coming to think of MDM, we first of all consolidated our legacy software applications and migrated from homegrown softwares to a standard software ERP, that is SAP. But you blame it on the phased approach of SAP implementation or the size of organization, which was huge, like almost 5 to 700 operating locations, 200,000 customers, 100,000 vendors, more than 500,000 materials. So as a result, during even SAP implementation, the masters were not up to the expectations by the time SAP had stabilized. Then cleaning was going on, but at its own pace. Then came the secondary distribution of products. So again, secondary distribution means that the what is being sold from the company locations to the our 15 crore LPG customers or even more retail customers, the cars and scooter owners. the fleet owners, the industrial customers. So again, those masters were also having were in different systems. So again, the need was felt to have a common dealer management system, come CRM system. So legacy systems were given away, homegrown systems were given up, and a common dealer management system, come CRM system, was implemented. Now, having implemented that, then we, alongside the CRM system, we implemented the master data management component also, because there was a requirement to manage this huge amount of data. Till then, the SBUs were operating in silos. So the CRM of Lube SBU was different than CRM of LPG SBU. But once you are consolidating into the single system, then the need was felt to deploy master data management component. And complicated exercises like direct benefit transfer of LPG involved the deduplication across the three oil marketing companies, IOC, BPC, and HPC. So
Mm.
even if you have to create a new customers, you have to do a deduplication across the three companies. So like this, there was a need for to deploy a central master data management component, and that was deployed centrally, and henceforth creation of all the important master data like customer, vendor, and material, they were passing through the MDM component, and that's how we could stabilize it in the uh, year around 2013-14 or so.
Okay, okay, okay. Got it, got it. Okay, I think to what Manoj ji said, time to switch to a buzzword. So now getting to role of AI in MDM. I think AI and Gen AI has significantly impacted MDM processes. I think it's if you have to survive, you have to adopt. I think it goes in sync with it. With software vendors leveraging these technologies to enhance data management capabilities, this is likely to also bring about transformative changes for user organizations. Also, for large organizations, which also have to keep an eye out on the compliance piece of it. So, how is it impacting in organizations like yours? And I would like all of you to have a go at this question, because I'm sure there are different views, different philosophies and strategies that are being applied at each of your organizations.
Okay. So, see, in my opinion, of course, yes, I said, okay, yeah, is a buzzword for sure, but it does not mean that, okay, this buzzword does not have any relevance. Okay. So everything which we all need to see from a very context per se, that, okay, what this buzzword or what this new technology is contextualized to our organization. Okay. It's not that, okay, one solution fit for all. So same way, if I say, okay, AI led transformation, of course it can be a AI led transformation, but it cannot be. So in my opinion, I always call it as a process modernization. In the process modernization, it is possible you eliminate certain steps for which you don't need any technology. Okay.
Mm.
For then the second step comes where you can do many things by automation itself. Okay. Certain things, then when you say, okay, yes, you have done the simplification of the process, you have done enough automation, then you try to fit into what manual interventions are there, from the capturing the information to the decision making. Then the role of AI, generative AI, and some more AIs will come into the picture, and to end from the process person. But ultimately the objective is what? Objective is to optimize something. Okay, whether
Mhm.
we talk about the process optimization, simplification of the processes, or maybe let's say the FT optimization, where you want to work with the less number of people, the same amount of work, or the accuracy of the information, what you ultimately keeping that objective in mind, then the transformation will happen. And as I believe, I have a strong advocate about the simplification of the process, then automation, and then whether we call those artificial intelligence or the generative AI, and so on. The technology will keep on coming. Okay, and as I have always believed, generation of the technology or the innovation is happening at a much much faster speed than the consumption of the technology. Especially, let's say, I would be wrong to talk about any industry, but for manufacturing company, it's not that let's say the technology got introduced and you can do the implementation tomorrow, or you can find the relevance of that technology tomorrow. you have a legacy system, the mindset challenges, the skill challenges, and the biggest problem is not how to solve it, what to solve.
Hmm.
How to solve is easier part. You have enough people, enough technology, people will come and solve. But what to solve? How we do a solutioning around it? So there definitely, those are the bigger challenges in my opinion in the organization. And of course, the master data, the objective is, let's say, how accurate our master data, how reliable they are. If that objective is in mind, then we need to define, what the role of, the AI comes into the picture. But as I said, it cannot be you do AI and then you see where to do. Rather, you need to identify, what is the problem statement, and then you see how you fit into, very thing where most of the organization, but sometimes they take pride, yes, we have enabled AI into this, AI into this, but somehow I take pride what problem we have solved, rather than telling you, okay, we have this technology and what we do, we do not know. But rather than taking a pride, okay, yes, this problem got solved by the use of the technology, and this technology can be anything including AI.
Perfect.
I
Thanks so much. Yeah.
I agree with Manoj what he mentioned. I think just told words out of my mouth to say that let's start with the business problem rather than solutions. And that's where we are in terms of the shape of the curve of learning about AI and Gen AI, right? Maybe in years' time, this will become like, we talk about now ERPs and something like this will become embedded into our businesses just like that. Right now, we'll find trying to find the space for AI and Gen AI in all the organizations, right? Now, I think your question specifically was about MDM, so I'll probably focus on that. But I hear the software vendors plays a very key role, because now any platform that is getting developed with MDM or has been developed before also are specially integrated with AI/ML, because there the AI/ML plays a good role in automating data quality, harmonization, and governance, right? Because it can give you predictive perspective insights about the data, which was not there before. So if these products bring in those embedded things, there is no add on to an AI solution that needs to be put by an organization if we're getting that as a out of shelf, right? And that also makes life easier. We talk about democratizing data. It's easy to talk, but how can you democratize data when you don't have a good data quality that is there, and self-service capabilities to the businesses. So we need those powerful products as well along with us to make sure that happens. And obviously the real-time monitoring, data anomaly detection, real-time reporting is important, because again it gets piled up over a period of years. But again, getting an MDM tool and pushing an AI on that to push an AI is not important. It's about what are you going to achieve for your business around that. And impact is very good, because you can have quicker acquisitions, you can have quicker integration of acquisitions, you can have better data qualities, you can do faster decision making. So all that is there. But what's your ground base of your business case that needs to be defined?
Mm. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you. Alok ji? Yes.
Yes, uh, I think Manoj and Vijay have said most of the things, and I am in complete agreement with them, because you see, my take is that you need to have a very strong business process so as not to create a wrong master data. So, a very simple thing like capturing the bank account of the customer. If you don't put a check that one account can be linked only to one customer, then you might end with having 400 or 500 customers having the same bank account, and then when you transfer the money, all hodgepodge happens. So these are the things that, first of all, I feel that the business process and validations during master data creation should need to be very, very strong. Deploying automated solutions can help in automated data cleansing. They can improve the data quality. They can continuously monitor and throw out the inconsistency in the master data. Uh, but yes, uh, the real part is the initial master creation, where again I will say business plays a crucial role. If they give a strong business process and IT handholds them in creating a strong checks and controls, then the master data quality will be much better, and the pains of creating a wrong data also will be lesser. So even we had deployed with all the validations and everything. We had even deployed RPA solutions to create very demanding materials, very demanding masters like material masters, where a lot of requests were coming. But I think whatever my colleagues have said, they have said it right. Thank you.
Maybe,
Thank you, Alok.
maybe on a lighter note, what Alok said. Okay, sometimes the challenge is business believe they know IT, and IT believes they know business. Both of them forget their role. In the organization. So sometimes people start with the solutioning, and sometimes IT people tells, okay, just do the business. Why don't you do the business in this way? So at some point, that also in my opinion, one of the challenge. Sometimes the business come, okay, yes, I need this is a solution. Okay, and sometimes IT people, they feel that they are the masters of everything. Why don't you do your business like this? So I think the intersection between these two and understanding their role well, and of course nothing wrong in understanding each other's the perspective, but let people do what they want to do in their respective department.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you. So thanks so much for these inputs. I think the just summarizing our discussion so far. So in one sentence, what is the most important leadership advice that you would like to pass to our audience when it comes to the data driven world that we live in today? We can start with Manojji.
Okay, so in my opinion, I'm the strong advocate of the context. How we contextualize, for any leadership, and it's not about the technology for anything. How we see from your organization perspective or from your objective perspective, what does it mean for you? I think
Mm,
that's the key driver for any leadership. What we are trying to do, what we are trying to solve. I think that context is very very important in my opinion. After that, once the context is clear, then we can have best of the technology, best of the processes, or best of the people around it.
mm.
So I'm the strong advocate of the context of the organization or context of the objectives what we want to achieve.
Noted. Noted. Vijayji.
No, I think the value business case is my true norm in the business I use. And, let's find business cases where there's value. The technology is there to support, the solutions are there to support, and sometimes, as they say, the exit is just behind you, and you already have the technology to solve it. While you're looking ahead to find something bright and shiny? So basically, find your value business cases, and I think the rest will be taken care.
Mhm. Alokji. Yes.
Yes. So, my take on this today's data-driven world is that there are a lot of useful technology solutions are available, especially using AI/ML technologies, and they can give very useful results to the companies in terms of top line improvement or cost reduction or improving customer and vendor services. But mm, it is utmost important that the data should be consistent and accurate. So the solutions can only be developed on the consistent and accurate data. And even these technologies can help you continuously monitor the health and quality of data. So if this is done, then companies can save a lot of botherations later on when they really want to implement the technologies. Because half the time I have found that it's the data cleansing and data harmonizing which takes, and then the technology solution is developed. So again, both IT and business have to work together to do the pre and then the implementation activity. Thank you.
Noted. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for the input. It has been a pleasure to receive your thoughts. I think thank you so much to the audiences as well today. Your thoughts on key challenges and opportunities when it comes to digital transformation and data-led leadership have indeed been insightful. We appreciate your expertise, and it has shed light on how technology and data governance are transforming large asset intensive industries. Think as we wrap up, I am sure our audience has questions. I have about 6 minutes left to our scheduled time to closure. Before I jump into the questions, I do want to extend our gratitude for all three of you who joined today. Alokji, thank you so much. I understand you were busy and you took this from an external environment. We appreciate your time today. Vijayji, Manojji, thank you so much for joining. I'll open up for the questions now. Let me see if we have. Okay. Okay, so I have one question, and Manojji, I can share it with you. How can one ensure seamless technical integration across regions, given the complexities in global supply chain?
Seamless technology integration.
Mhm.
Maybe I have not understood the question well. The technology is available which we integrate whatever systems are there. But of course, let's say when you are a global company, global supply chain is there. You need to integrate, the business and the process, around it. Again, the supply chain is a subject where you need to manage end to end, right from the finished product to the sourcing. So I think it's more the business challenges rather than the technology challenges. I don't see what kind of a technology challenges it can bring if we know how to produce, how to source, and how to the send our finished product to the customer. So that needs, let's say, the optimization and the optimization. Yeah, as I said, okay, technological optimization is always possible. Enough tools, technologies are available, but more from the business context point of view, how does your end-to-end supply chain will work. So that is critical.
Okay.
So that's my understanding of the question. Unless from the technology per se, as I said, first it is available. If it is not available, somebody will create for you immediately.
Okay. Got it. Got it. There's one more. I think it's around first time data governance. They would like to hear, what is your advice for someone who is getting into a first time data governance implementation?
I
And
would
this
say
is, I'd say, this is open for all.
simple and standard. Keep it simple and standard. That's how it needs to start. If you complexify it the first time and customize it so much, it's always going to add the layers to it. So keep it simple and standard.
Okay. Cool. Let me see. Let me check what else I have. Okay. How can AI be used to improve operational efficiency in cement industry? Vijayji, I'll probably request you
Yeah.
to answer that.
Yeah, no, look, I mean, it is an industry that leverages AI already, right? And we are doing it. If you talk about analyzing the sensor data to do predictive equipment failures, that's there because we have kilns which are huge, like Alok ji also mentioned, these have to go on for days and days and months and years before they can be taken down. It's not an easy thing to just take them down at any point of time. We use AI in optimizing raw material usages. As I said, we have alternate fuel options. We have reusable aggregates, and we are working on that. We use computer visions to detect for real time quality issues on the products when they're coming in from the supply chain perspective. You can also do forecasting, inventory management, and logistics. This is where we are working at this point of time to leverage AI to make sure one of the problems we talked about, master data, of having spare parts as multiple master data for the same spare parts and having an inventory as which is piling up over a period of time. And then basically, your AI driven robots that basically streamline your repetitive works. We talk about RPAs and everything else in terms of the manufacturing processes. So overall, the industry, though it sounds pretty, historical kind of a thing where cement has been manufactured for such a long period of time. But trust me, in this industry, there is a lot of AI that has been used already, even in the manufacturing space and in the manufacturing plant. Not just about customer facing part of it.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Think that's about it. We have 1 minute left. What we would like to do is, in case you have any questions, you can add those in the comment section of the podcast today or the virtual roundtable event today. We would be happy to answer those offline as well. Again, thank you. A big thank you to all of the panelists. It was a pleasure having you on this event today. We look forward to you and leading in your industries and working ahead with you. Thank you so much. Have a good rest of the day.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Rohan.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Thank
everyone.
you.
Bye for now.
Thank you.